It's Dan. Hope you're well today. So we're going to talk about ads and content. Because one of the things that we've really noticed is that when we take on a client and we take on a client that wants content, or we'll have a client that takes Facebook ads or Google ads or adverts, and they'll take one or the other because they can't afford both sometimes. And what we find is that those clients that take on both content and ads actually get better results than just getting ads and just getting content. And in today's session, I want to talk about that and I want to cover why that might be. And in your own business, if you're running content or ads, but not them both together, I want to talk about why you might not actually be getting the results that you think you're going to be getting. So I think it's a really important conversation to have because people kind of chuck a whole bunch of money at something, thinking that this is going to be the thing that solves their problem, right? And the problem that people have is a lack of consistency on generating leads. That's it. Like every client we speak to, they want more leads. Like most clients, some clients make money off YouTube and Instagram and that kind of thing. So it's not leads that they have to actually get. It's views and followers and that kind of thing. But for most of our clients, they need a system that will generate a consistent number of leads going through their website or having strategy sessions or buying whatever it happens to be online. And you know, we've been running this digital marketing agency for years now, and the biggest number one thing to getting those results is getting ads and is getting ads and content all at the same time. And we've done both. We've done it where we've just done a whole ton of content. Like right now, that we've got a significant amount of content. So if I was to look at what's my calendar? If I was to look at what our content looked like for this month, even just for this week, it's significant, right? So like we've got I think we've got something like here we are. Sorry, I couldn't find it. So what April 27th. This is going in for next week. We've got a 9 o'clock, a 1 o'clock. We've got something going out at 2 o'clock. We've got 5 p.m. And we've got a 9 p.m. That's a significant amount of content that's going out. And what we find is that you have to put out a significant amount of content because you have to rise above everybody else and what everybody else is doing. And if you're not putting out enough content, you know, when we speak with property sourcing clients and we go, well, I'm going to drop some leaflets, and we go, okay, how many leaflets have you dropped? And we go, well, I dropped 2,000, and we go, okay, here we go. How many leads have you had off that? And we go, none. And it's like it's because you're not putting enough out there to get the return. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I have to do more. Yeah, of course you have to do more. Like, on average, and there's no such thing as an average in that industry, but we would say 20,000 leaflets will get you 10 phone calls. You might visit 3 properties and you put offer in on all three and you'll get one sale, right? One property below market value or a quick sale or whatever that happens to be. And that's off 20,000 leaflets. Now, if we were to use the same numbers online, think about this. You do a single piece of content, you get 100 views, right? 20,000 leaflets divided by 100 views, that means you have to do 200 pieces of content. That will get you to the 20,000 views, right? If you're getting 100 views per piece of content. Now, you might be going, well, I can't do that. Well, of course you can. Right, across the month, you can do that. What are we doing? We're doing about 30 or 40 pieces of content every month, which are video orientated. Um, uh, per month, actually. No, per week. Per week. So that's still only 160 pieces of content that goes out every single week. Every month, I should say. It doesn't even seem that much. Not when you're going to be dropping leaflets by the 20,000s to go and get a property sourcing deal. So if we're to put that into context, if you're saying, well, I'm putting content out, but I'm not getting any leads, I guarantee it's because you're not putting enough content out. And this is the kicker with it. The content you put out there is going out to people generally who already know who you are. That is changing slightly with the Instagram algorithms there. If you're into scuba diving, you're probably going to see a lot of scuba diving content, not just people who you follow who are scuba diving, but scuba diving content in general. And so you do have an opportunity to put out some organic content, and that reaches other people that aren't necessarily followers and that kind of thing. The people I watch on Instagram, I don't follow them, but I know that their content will come up as and when it comes up. And sometimes I click on it, watch it, just because then I know that they're going to give me more of that type of content, while the algorithm is working out that me as an audience person, consumer of that content, the algorithm can work out what sort of content to send me. And think about this from your point of view, right? Because most people here are consumers, right? Most people consume more content than they create. And the balance is like this. These are all the consummation of content, and this is the content that you're creating. What if you flip that? What if you turned that around? So you just spend, instead of watching half an hour of Instagram, you went live stream like this for half an hour, and you were able to pull out lots of little video shorts and pull out all sorts of content from this one single piece of content. What if you could flip the script, and instead of being a consumer of content, you created the content for other people to consume? Do you think that might move you closer towards making more money, growing your business, getting more people to know you? And remember, right, that people that buy from you, they have to know, like, and trust you. They're the three biggies. If they don't know you, how can you sell to them? If they never see your stuff, if they have no idea who you are, what you do, or how you can help them, why on earth would they even buy from you? So this is organic content, and you have to put out a lot of content. There's no question. And is that going to get better, or is that going to get worse as we go forward through time? I think it's going to probably get worse, quite frankly. So we have to put content out, and then there's this big artificial intelligence tsunami coming. And I see people putting out content, and it's all AI generated. Gosh, I've seen people on LinkedIn, and I know what these people look like in real life, and they have an AI avatar, and it makes them look like they're 25 when they're late 50s, right? And it's like, first up, you're gaslighting people. Is that the right term? Catfishing? Catfishing, I think. You're catfishing people. If I already know what you look like and you put in this massive filter, this is why we don't use filters, by the way, because we don't, trust is so important. We don't want to use filters. We want people to see us for who we truly are, and not hide behind this thing. And if we're ugly, we're ugly. We just have to learn to deal with it, right? My ugly friends, uh, you and me together. So this is the key. If you're putting out this image and it's not you because you're using an AI filter, and then I meet you in real life, instantly you've just eroded my trust, because trust is so important. So as well as know, like, and trust, we've got two other letters. We've got A and C. The A is for authenticity. And if you've got a filter going on in your organic content, then that's not authentic. This is authentic. This is who I am. This is what I look like. There's no filter on here. And some of you sat there going, Dan, we can tell. Fair enough. Um, Somebody called me posh earlier today, by the way, which was quite funny. And I sound like this. But this organic content you've got to put out there should be you, and it should be authentic. And then the other one is the letter C, which is for consistency. You've got to consistently put content out. And actually, we really struggled this week because we just had Easter week. So we went over to England and we did a bit of content, a bit of filming, but no face to camera stuff. And then this week, everybody's at home. We've nipped out to the shops right now, which is why I'm now live. But while everybody's home, I find it really difficult to go live because my wife and my child, they're listening to me talking stuff, and I just find it really challenging. So I find it hard as well, just like everybody else finds it hard. But the key is that if you're not able to get the content out, how do people know you exist? And so this is organic content, which then nicely moves us over to the paid ads, because I can answer the question, how do people know you exist if you're not doing organic content? Well, the answer is paid ads. And that's basically Facebook ads, it's LinkedIn, it's Google, it's Twitter, whatever type of paid ads you want to do, YouTube, etc. So this is what we then do for clients. Number one, we want to get organic content out, because when somebody lands and they on Facebook and they see your advert, what's the first thing that they do? It's not click the buy now button. I don't think it is. Like, certainly a proportion will, but another proportion will also click on you, and they'll go check out your timeline to see who you are and to see if you're legit. Number one, 'cause that takes us back to authenticity, right? And if you're live streaming and all your pictures have this filter on, but your live stream, you look very different. You're like, is that even the same person? Like, you lose that level of trust. But this is why we do the organic content, not only because for people who already know us and follow us, they want to see that content, or they might not want to see it, but they definitely consume it because our numbers are up. We're getting thousands of views every day, which is amazing, by the way. The comparison that we made before with dropping 20,000 leaflets, we're now getting thousands of views on our content every day. takes a lot of content, it's a lot of hard work, but we get there. But the whole reason that we do that is so that when somebody sees our Facebook ad or our paid ads, when they go over to social media and start checking us out, they're going to see post after post after post. They're going to see this level of consistency, not just in posting, but the level of consistency in terms of what we say, who we are, and how we turn up, how we show up in front of a camera or online. And obviously that can be really challenging sometimes because you see stuff going on in the media and you want to comment on it, and your comment might be a slightly mischievous, shall we say. Usually right now it's the Americans right now. Like the Americans are just they have my empathy, shall we say. But then some of them don't help themselves with some of the comments that they say, putting down the Europeans and all of that kind of thing. It's really weird. But that's what and so I want to I get angry. Which is just weird. So it's like a number of times I just shut Twitter down because if I don't, I'm going to reply and say something mischievous. Um, if you think about that for a second, though, all that time I spend on Twitter getting angry at people saying Europeans are lazy or whatever is what they're saying, which is completely not true, of course. But if you think about that, all that time I'm seeing that, I could be creating content and I'm not creating content, I'm consuming content and I'm replying to somebody else about whether chopsticks should be made of bamboo or something. I don't know, whatever the argument happens to be, right? I just made that argument up for an argument's sake. But that time that I'm spending on social media, replying to people or watching other people's content, how does that grow my business? And the answer, of course, is that it doesn't grow my business. It just wastes my time. And so we've got to flip the switch, got to create more content. And at the same time, you've got to start running some Facebook ads and some Google ads and LinkedIn and YouTube and Twitter and anything else you can think of. Because then when people see your advert, now they get to see you, they will go out and search you. They're going to go and check out your website. They are going to go and check out your social media. It's just what happens. It's 2025. We go and check each other out. This is what we do. Um, and so you've got to make sure that when people are checking you out online, they do a search for your name or a search for your business, all they're going to see is good stuff. And also, when they then go onto social media, they're just going to see a whole bunch of content that's very congruent, that says the same thing over and over again on repeat. That you're a nice person, that you don't get angry arguing with people about chopsticks or America or Trump or whatever. Like that doesn't help at all. And like we say, you arguing about those things is just you replying to other people's content. Why don't you make up something controversial and post that on your own page and get people to interact with you? It's, rage bait. There's even a name for it. Rage baiting. So if let me try and think of something that would rage bait somebody. Let's say, I mean, I tell you who does it really well. Donald Trump rage baits so well. He'll say, Ukraine started the war. We all know that Russia started the war, right? And some Russians go, "Oh no, we didn't. They started it 20 years ago, right?" Uh, but we all know that. But Trump, it stays in the news, and Boris Johnson did it very well. His strategy was called the dead cat strategy. When stuff is hitting the fan, he'll slam a dead cat on the table as the distraction from the stuff that's hitting the fan. And it's rage baiting, right? Does it all the time. What did he spend? £20,000 on wallpaper for number 10 Down Street. Like that's rage bait. And people talk about that and the news talks about that, how ridiculous it is. And it's because he's hiding all the other stuff that he's got up to. Yet another mistress or whatever it happens to be, allegedly, shall we say. Just cover myself legally there. And I'm not saying, by the way, that you necessarily rage bait, because I don't think that's Donald Trump thinks that any marketing is good marketing, any press is good press, and even bad press. I don't agree with that, right? Because like right now, Donald Trump is upsetting everybody. And what happens when he leaves the White House? The lack of trust that the European or the worldwide countries have right now with Donald Trump is significant, I would say. I know people who've cancelled trips to the US and cancelled services with US companies and so on, right? So I don't believe all press is good press. Like you've got to be a nice person, otherwise, why are you doing this? If you're just not a nice person anyway, why are you doing it? And ultimately, that's not going to help your business either. So the content that you've got to be putting out, you could say controversial things, but not rage bait. So controversial things could be, you could say something like Facebook ads is dead, right? This is the end of Facebook advertising as we know it. and then you do a live stream about that, and you're just talking about, and that, by the way, that's true. Facebook advertising as we know it is ending, right? Because we've got all this AI stuff, we've got all this targeting stuff, and it ended again 10 years ago, and it ended 9 years ago, and it ended 8 years ago. Various aspects of that will end. So it's not an untruthful statement. It's just that Facebook ads as we know it, it's going to change, right? Live streaming as we know it, that's going to change. Tinder, dating as we know it is going to change forever. Absolutely has happened. Working as we know it, that's going to change unquestionably. And it's not, although it's a controversial headline, it's not really that controversial, and it's a little bit clickbaity and so on. But you can handle it, right? It's not so bad that it's an outright lie or anything like that. But this is where the secret happens. Your content that you're putting out, and you need to be putting out a lot of content. That's the content, and then that content will go out to people who already know you or who are already interested in that industry and might see it on Instagram and so on. Just the way the algorithm works. And then you've got on this side, you've got Facebook ads, and if Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever, interchangeable, whoever you want to advertise with, really that's there to reach people that you can't reach on the organic stuff. And so that's why you have to have both organic and Facebook ads or whatever ads running at the same time, because then you're starting to grow your following, and you don't even have to spend that much money on Facebook ads. And also the types of ads are really important, because you have to think about what's the intent of the person watching it. So SEO, for example, search engine optimization, you have search intent and then you've got buyer's intent. They're two very different things. A search intent is where someone's just searching to find the information. What I did a search today, I can't remember what it was for. Did a search for something, and I was just information gathering. That was it. A purchase intent is a different type of search. So top 5 companies that provide Facebook advertising in leads or Facebook ads leads is a purchase intent. How to run Facebook ads is a search intent. Do you see the difference there? Facebook ads agency leads, that's somebody looking for a Facebook ads agency if they're ready to purchase. How to run Facebook ads is a search intent. They're wanting the information to know how to do it, because likely they can't afford to run it themselves. And by the way, if that is you and you can't afford to run Facebook ads through an agency, and you think I'm just going to do it myself, my advice is not to do that. My advice would be to spend that money elsewhere, drop some leaflets, do radio advertising, because you're just going to literally throw that money away, because Facebook ads is not easy. Like, and this is the kind of caveat here. Can anybody just get on Facebook and place some adverts? Yes, absolutely. But that's like saying, can a 5-year-old drive a car? Of course they can. If their feet can touch the pedals, or it's an automatic, or they've got Pringle cans attached to the shoes so they can touch the pedals. Yeah, a 5-year-old can drive a car. Would you want them to? No, it's going to be chaotic and shambles, and people are going to get hurt quite seriously, and your car's going to be ruined. So why would you do that? And it's the same on Facebook ads. People go, oh, I can't afford an agency, I'm just going to do it myself. And then they blow thousands of pounds on Facebook ads. And then they go, well, that doesn't work. And no, it does, but you just don't know how to do it yet. And that's all right. You don't know how to do everything because that's probably not your business. It's not your main business. You're busy doing plumbing or gardener or whatever, butcher or whatever it happens to be. So you trying to do that stuff on your own is not going to work, because you don't know what you don't know. And it takes a lot of experience and a lot of trial and error to get to the point where you know what you don't know, to avoid doing what you don't know and start doing the stuff that you should be doing. It's really challenging to do. And I understand people haven't got that much money, and so they're desperately trying to make Facebook ads work. I guarantee it's just not going to work. You might get lucky, you might get some clicks, but getting clicks on Facebook, does that mean it works? No, of course it doesn't. It's just clicks on Facebook. Getting clicks that go to the landing page where they fill in the form and they book a call and then they turn up on the call, that's a lead. Getting someone to click an advert on a Facebook, anybody can do it. Getting the lead, they're two very, very different things. And people come up to us and go, oh, we've done Facebook ads, doesn't work. And what they're saying is the first version, where they're getting people to click, that's what we've done. Whereas our version, which is we get them to click, they'll get to the landing page, they fill in the form, they then book a calendar appointment, they then attend the strategy session, we send them a proposal. That's what really Facebook ads should be doing, not the other one. And most people kind of don't get that and then wonder why they spend all the money on Facebook ads, it doesn't work. And they can't understand why their competitors, who may be actually using an agency, are actually getting results when they are really struggling getting those sort of results. But again, you still need, even if you're running those sort of Facebook ads with all that stuff, with the funnel fully in place, with strategy calls and calendar bookings and so on, even if you've got that in place, you still need the organic content. You just have to have the organic content, because they're going to see your Facebook ad, they're going to click on the name, they're going to see what you've done. Account was created 2 months ago. There's 2 posts, your mum and the cat, and that's it. You know, it's 2 separate. One's your mum, one's the cat. Like, that's the post, and yet you're running adverts. It's crazy. It just doesn't work. And I don't understand why people. It's 2025. You would expect that people are much more wary and are much more ready to do their research, and they do. That's the point, right? You thought I was going to say the other thing then. You know, I was going to say people don't do the research. Actually, they do. Your customers do generally. There's only a few people that don't do the research because they just believe everything that they're told. But generally, people will go out, they'll do the research, and they're going to check you out on Facebook. They're going to go to your YouTube channel. They're going to download your latest podcast, see if they like you or not. They're going to see you on Instagram. They're going to watch you on Twitter. They're going to watch all of this. I'm just outside, by the way, so if it's background noise, that's why. We're in a really nice place today. We're just got the pool just there. We're in a really nice little spot today. This is where we live, by the way. We're at home, but it's just nice because it's warm. We can actually go outside to do some of our podcasting, which is really cool. So, has anyone got any questions? By the way, I'm live, and I should have brought a drink out with me, and I completely forgot. If you've got a question or two, I'm more than happy to answer those about content or ads. Or even if you want to let me know what industry you're in, that would be useful as well. And if not, we'll just end the live stream. It's no big deal. We got a very, very busy day today, and we're just taking on some new workers. One's a video editor and one's a new scheduler, because we've got an increase in clients, and so we've got all these people working, and so we have to manage all those, and we have to teach them, we have to double check what we're doing is correct and all of that kind of thing. So we're very, very busy with it all right now, which is cool. And we're here to help. And it's a good, 2025 is a good year so far. And hopefully that will continue. I know the world outside these 4 walls, not that we're inside, but the world outside is a little bit crazy right now. And, but like when things tighten up, that's when I think you double down. Like when the money gets tight, double down on content. And actually, like next week, I do travel to the UK on Tuesday, and I'm in Leeds on Wednesday night. By the way, there's a free event, and if you'll have a look through my timeline, or if you want to just message me, I'll send you the link for the free event. There's a free event with a good friend of mine from Action Coach, one of our clients, an Action Coach client, and they've got this amazing event that you should come to, and I'm there. And if you want to come and meet up with me, and we'll have coffee 2 hours before the event starts at like 4 p.m. The event starts at 6:30. If you want to do that in Leeds, then it's on Wednesday next week. Anyway, so what I was saying was that fly over on Tuesday and I come back on Thursday, and then I'm just in Leeds for the Wednesday, 1 for this event, and 2 just to do some admin type things in Leeds. But this is the point. I'm going to be going live. Like, I'll be live again in the morning. I'll be live on Monday. Probably not going to be live on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, although I might do it in Leeds City Centre actually. But then I'm back on. When am I back? I'm back on the Friday live again, and I'm on Saturday. I'm live again. Like all those live streams, that helps massively for a number of reasons. One is that obviously we're live and we get people watching and viewing and that kind of thing. It helps our subscribers. It helps people see that who we are and that we exist, and this is what we sound like, this is what we look like, and this is why this is important. Because then when that person eventually signs up onto a strategy session, we get on a call, they already know who I am, what I look like, and what I sound like, what my sense of humor is like. And it brings down the barriers, which makes it easier for us to get into their business and understand their business, to be able to diagnose where they are and what their problem is, and see how we can actually help their business. Rather than, think about this, if you go on a call with somebody that you've never met and you have no idea, I did one yesterday actually, for some outbound stuff we're interested in. If you jump on a call like that with somebody, that's much harder, because now they have all these barriers that they've never spoken to you before. They don't know who you are, what your personality is like. One of the reasons why we live stream so much is because it breaks down those barriers. So then when they do book a strategy session, they already know what I sound like, what I look like, what my jokes are like, my weird sense of humor, my any weird little ticks that I have. I don't think I've got any, but who knows? I've got this lispy thing going on that I didn't know about. Anyway, so that's one reason why we live stream. And then the other reason why we live stream is it allows us to pull out lots of shorter videos, which is really cool, by the way. And then we can schedule those with links back to our products so that we are always showing up online. And in fact, I was just looking at the scheduling because I was talking to the scheduler this morning, the new member of staff. And yeah, we got, I think, 3 or 4 videos a day going out, short videos like this. Let's go have a look actually. So what we got? We got a 9 a.m. from a podcast that I did. We got a 1 p.m. We got a 5 p.m. We got 3 a day going out, and then in between that, we've got some TikTok videos that go out. And when I say TikTok, I mean TikTok style, uh, which is more lifestyle-y type stuff. And then from my meetings, I also pull out a whole bunch of content from meetings that I have. And I usually put those out at 9 o'clock. So like this one here, done is better than perfect. This is going out on, when's this going out? It's going out tonight, I think. Done is better than perfect. Stop waiting for perfect lighting, the ideal script or brand new camera, right? So we put a lot of this stuff out there. So we have like 4 or 5 different pieces of content going out that's live, that either from live recordings such as this or other calls that I've had where there's nuggets of gold within those meetings and those phone calls with clients. We pull that out and then we share that out across social media as well. And what that does is it enables us to demonstrate our expertise in our industry, and it keeps us in front of all these different people, and it puts our views up, and it builds trust and authenticity, and it's consistently done. And so that's what I was going to answer. So in terms of content that's going out, it's the 25th of April today. I'm just waiting for it to catch up. So we've got till the 6th of May for some of the content and the 9th for some of the others. So we have content that's already lined up for the next 2 weeks. So if I just go away on holiday for the next 2 weeks, I don't have to worry about creating content while I'm on holiday. I probably would, but I don't have to worry about it because it's already pre-scheduled, it's already going out, and it will continue to go out. And that's where we want to get you as well. But also, you need those Facebook ads or Google ads to reach people that you're not currently reaching, because organic only has so much of a reach. We've got a group, it's got 1,200 people in it. 22 people have seen that post. There's a 1,200 people in a group, 22 people have seen the post. That's less than 1% of people in a group. Do you remember a couple of years back, groups were really huge? Facebook, the bald-faced liars, said, no, put everything into a group. Groups are it, and groups were it, until Facebook came and swapped it all around. That's why you should be everywhere all at once on all platforms. So you should be out on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok, even TikTok. I'm on TikTok, for God's sake. My kids are probably embarrassed. But you should be on TikTok. That's where your audience is. That's where your potential customers are. I'm on TikTok. I don't watch TikTok overly, it's more Instagram. I still watch some stuff. Usually I'm just amazed that people live stream on TikTok and they're selling sweets and they make money off selling sweets on TikTok or stuff like that. It just amazes me still. I saw a guy and he was just driving at night. He was in his truck, he was driving, and he's live streaming the road ahead of him while he was driving his truck, which is just amazing. I reckon he probably makes money off that, believe it or not, because of the number of people. I mean, like 284 people watching it live. Just this guy, not even of him, just showing the road. It was at night, so you could see the headlights. Crazy. But getting out in front of as many people as possible with your message, demonstrating your expertise, giving help, giving advice, all that good stuff is really going to help you grow your business. The problem is it's so time consuming. That's the problem. So what we do and how we do it with our clients is we call it the 90-10 rule, not 80-20. That's something different. This is the 90-10 rule. The 90-10 rule is we get them to do the interview, takes about an hour, and then we'll pull out the other 90% from that interview. So their 10% is just doing that interview. And off that, we can pull out short videos, we can pull out little posts, we can create images, we can do all sorts of things. And usually if they've got, let's say, an event coming up, we can pull out an image out for the event, we can create it, write some copy, and we can schedule that. They don't even have to know about it. Like literally, they don't even know that we've posted that stuff. But we've done it on their behalf, speaking in their voice with their brand colours, and then they get more traffic because of it. And this is the key. You've got to be everywhere all at once across all different platforms. And then you've also got to be running some Facebook ads as well, or Google ads or LinkedIn ads, or actually all of those. And you don't even have to spend that much. We spend £5 a day, for example, on our property sourcing training. I was just looking at the stats yesterday because we get weekly stats as all our clients do, and I am one of our clients really, so I get the same service. And our cost of acquisition is now down to £5 on a £27 product. And we only spend £5 a day, and we make one sale a day on average. And now we're like, do we double that to £10? But we don't kind of want to ruin the algorithm. We're happy doing that, and then we have upsells off that, and it's not a main product or anything like that. Very interesting stuff. But that's why we run Facebook ads, because it allows us to reach people that we wouldn't normally be able to get to. Right, my voice is going, I can feel it. So I hope you find that useful, and we'll catch up with you on the next podcast, which hopefully will be tomorrow. Hope you have a wicked day, and we'll speak